everything's about storytelling. Tell a story. What we like to say is we're actually story makers. So we make the story. So it's all about experience and thinking about, how do we take the client and the client's guests and the end audience on a whole journey throughout the night, if it's an event, or everything from the moment they receive the invitation to when they show up, what happens at the event, to when they leave and after the event. So the whole thing is mapped out.
You look at the whole event from the outside as one. It's one experience made up by multiple small experiences to leave you with one giant taste, a beautiful one that makes you, hey, like who are some of the people you've done events for?
So Ferrari is one of our big clients.
Cool.
So
let's use them. So I went to the Ferrari event because of you and the experience, the small experiences that made up one kind of taste, we'll call it, of the event.
Yeah.
I now like the taste of Ferrari after the event. It's kind of the effect you want to go for, no?
Yeah, we want to surprise and delight them at every point of the way. We want to do something different. So when you're launching a car, there's only so many ways that you can reveal a car. So we're trying to push the boundaries and get people to want to be taking photos and video and then pushing onto social, get people talking about it for weeks and months to come.
And really, that's something that every company can sit down and map out for their customer journey, no?
Yeah, I'd take a lead from the gaming industry. So they have a thing called experience points. And so this point is when one of their gamers completes a challenge, finds an Easter egg, finds something unexpected in the game, levels up to the next level. So they actually map out these points and you have to go through these experience points in order to get to the next level of the game. So if we take that philosophy and then put it into our business, both in our sales and in the events aspect about how the customer goes through the event, it's about mapping out each time they're going to get to this new experience point. And it can be both high and low. So, for example, when we're telling a story, we don't always want it to be high the whole way through because that's quite exhausting and might put some people off. You actually want to have a low point. It's like in a movie or in a song, there's always a low point, something bad or sad happens, and that makes the next high point even higher. Yep.
And so what's the process someone like myself or any business owner could kind of do to map out their own experiences?
You always want to look at every single touch point. And so when do you first talk to the client? And so this could go back into your marketing. So what is the experience that your prospects are going to have with you from your marketing from before they even know who you are? So let's start all the way back there. And then every time we're communicating to them, every time they're seeing something from us, how do we make an experience? How do we deliver more value to them?
And so then the Ferrari event, walk us through what your mission was when being assigned that event.
So this particular one, 400 people arrived. They walked down a red carpet that was probably about 40 or 50 meters long. In the dark, in the middle of the red carpet, there's an engine block from one of the Ferraris and it's all lit up. So they have a look at that. And they basically walked into this black box that in the middle had this 5 meter high floral centerpiece.
So what was the total emotion we wanted to achieve? And what does each point do? So what's the long walk do? Makes them tired. Or they can't get out of the event because the Ferrari owners, they're all probably old rich dudes that don't train anymore because they're rich. They're, oh, fuck, I'm stuck here. I can't get out. I may as well buy a Ferrari. That's genius.
So the purpose of this was a few things. So we kind of want to disorientate them a little bit. So they're walking through this dark tunnel of light that's just a red carpet. They don't really know where they are because they can't really see anything other than where they're walking. And they get into this black sort of room with a big floral piece that is like unbelievably stunning. So they walk in and they're like, wow, look at this. They're blown away by this centerpiece with this bar underneath it. And they think at this point, what we want them to think is, wow, this is awesome. And that's it. So,
and also they, like you said, disorientated. They've just walked 50 meters into this new world, this black box.
It's a whole new world. They have no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
So then more people show up and the event starts and then basically there's a presentation with the screen and everything happens and the CEO jumps up there and says, we're launching a new car. And then all of a sudden the lights go completely pitch black. So what we do is disorientate people even more. So now they're like, what happened? Did something just go wrong? All the lights are gone black. We then light them in their eyes, blind them, go black again. The video's kind of playing with their sort of what's happening with them. all these experiences. Is something going wrong, or I can't really see now, I'm disorientated. And then in one of the black moments, we actually dropped all the black curtains around this box. So there's 60 meters of curtains that are around the drapes around the box. And then we open up and they're like, oh, wow, we're in a bigger room than what we thought we were.
Because now they can see the room with the walls of the curtains.
Yeah. And so basically from that moment on, we actually exposed the next part of the room where there was, I think, 7 or 8 of the cars from the past 30 odd years in this series, and we lit them up one by one. So this is the first one in the series and the second one, and just spoke about, what was the heritage of this car that we were launching. And so people had this whole journey through the timeline of the cars, actually seeing the cars there in this greater space. But then where's the new car? We can't see it. So then again, lights go black, play a video that's actually introducing the new car, and then it's dead quiet, nothing. At this point, the engine starts revving. And what people didn't realize is that we actually hid the car underneath them. And so everyone was raised up on a massive, I think it was about a 300 square meter stage, and we hid the car underneath them. So while it's silent, the car starts revving and people start to realize, oh my gosh, it's underneath me. Where's this coming from? And then the car drives out to reveal, and then we invite everyone down. Yeah.
Oh my God, they just gave me goosebumps. I've got to get you to organise my 30th birthday. Something like that. That's awesome.
So obviously Flare was hit hard. Fusion's hit even harder because of COVID. Flare has other sources of revenue as well. We also do media production, and that kept going. So that was a bit of revenues coming in. But what do we do with the rest of the employees who are sitting around doing nothing? JobKeeper's great, but half of them weren't eligible for JobKeeper. How do we keep them employed? So luckily, the business was quite profitable before, and we were able to sustain everything. But we didn't sit around and do nothing. There was probably, a week or two of like everyone working out what's going on. And then as jobs started to cancel and be postponed, they're like, okay, well, this is real now. We don't know what's going to happen. We can just sit around and wait, or we can come up with new ideas and put our skills to use. So we brought out the whiteboard, and literally we just said, sat everyone around, even Emma came down, we sat everyone around and we're like, what are we going to do? No idea's a bad idea. Let's just start throwing things on what's working at the moment. Let's look at where people are going to start spending their money. And so we came up with a few ideas. I think one of them was sort of like a paddock to plate meat delivery service, because at the time the butchers were running out of meat, and we had some connections to farms. We thought about hand sanitizers. We thought about, I think there was a thing called care packs that we started to create, but we never really pushed it, which was basically sort of hampers for companies to sort of send to their employees for working at home, like a whole bunch of things. But everything just sort of kept coming back to the alcohol and how it's a growing sort of space at the moment, and how can we do something different and unique with our expertise and experiences.
And that's why you push Secret Bottle. So you end up just saying, hey, Secret Bottles.
Well, so that's where we started Drinks with Dave. So it was basically an offshoot where Secret Bottle is just a recurring subscription, whereas Drinks with Dave is a hosted digital event where, say, American Express or Allianz or someone will come on, they'll have 100 people, and we'll send them all the wine. They'll jump on and we'll do a whole wine tasting with the winemaker or the wine expert there. So they all do it together. And
so you were getting your brand partners and hosting digital wine tasting for their clients.
Yeah. And so we'll be working. So St. Hugo Wines.
Super cool.
St. Hugo is part of Pernod Ricard. So we work with them. They would give us access to cellar collection wines that you cannot buy anywhere else in Australia except at the cellar door and through us. So we have access to things you can't get. But basically, Drinks of Dave has become probably the leader in Australia for digital corporate wine tastings. So we've worked with almost every major company in town, done thousands of them last year.
And is that what you're hosting at CUB in a couple of weeks? Or is it different?
Yeah, in a live format, yeah. So that's with Morm Champagne. So same thing again with Morm. And then we took it to the next level where we did some live webinar sort of experiences. We actually shot one at CUB where people could buy tickets to the event. Cost them a couple $100. They get a few bottles of champagne sent to them. They all log in at whatever time it was and watch the live broadcast of the whole thing.